It has been a long and exhausting journey for Melody Shari as she continues to rise above the chaos that has followed her since her marriage ended with Martell. For years now, the public has seen the ups and downs, the court hearings, and the silent battles fought behind closed doors. But this week, something powerful happened that spoke louder than any court document or public statement. Melody posted the first picture of her daughter since the court made its ruling. And that single moment told a story of freedom, strength, and a mother finally able to breathe again after being trapped under restrictions for so long. The picture was more than just an image. It was a statement that she had regained a piece of her peace. While many celebrated Melody's quiet victory, the same day brought controversy on the other side. Martell was once again in the headlines, this time accused of using Sugar Mama, the daughter he shares with Melody, for a staged photo op, alongside his child born out of wedlock. The timing of it all was too close to ignore. Melody had just shared a moment of happiness online, and almost immediately, a picture surfaced showing Martell trying to portray himself as a loving father, as if to remind everyone that he too has a place in the story. But when people looked closer, the whole scene seemed orchestrated. The way Sugar Mama hugged the little boy, the way the photo was taken, it all appeared planned to create an image of unity that simply didn't feel genuine. People who saw the picture began to notice small details. It looked like Martell had told Sugar Mama to go and hug the little boy so the cameras could capture it. The moment didn't look natural, and that's what made it so uncomfortable for many who have watched this story unfold. Viewers could sense that this was not about family love or reconciliation. It felt more like a desperate attempt to paint a picture of peace when there was still so much bitterness behind the scenes. Martell wanted the world to see him as a hands-on father, but the more he tried to force that image, the more people questioned his motives. For those who have followed this custody battle since 2022, the situation has been heartbreaking. When Melody and Martell first divorced, things could have ended respectfully, but Martell's actions showed he was not ready to let go. He became spiteful, especially after Melody moved on, dissolved their business ties, and began living life on her own terms. Instead of focusing on healing, Martell seemed to focus on control. Many believe that is why the custody case dragged on so long. It wasn't just about the children. It was about power and the need to keep Melody tied to him in some way. The photo Martell posted added more fuel to the fire. Not only because of what was seen in the image, but because of what it represented. The court order clearly stated that neither parent could use the children for television production or social media profit, without permission from the court, or until the children reached a certain age. That means that even though they can post pictures, they cannot use the children to make money, gain publicity, or use them for entertainment purposes. But that is exactly what many people accused Martell of doing. They saw the photo as another way for him to gain sympathy and stay relevant, even if it meant using his children to do it. Meanwhile, Melody has been careful for years. She stopped posting her children long ago to protect them and to follow the court's rules. She understood that some things should remain private, especially when it comes to children caught in a public feud. So when people saw her finally repost a picture of her daughter, one that Mama Van originally shared, it felt special. It wasn't staged, it wasn't done for attention. It was simple, pure, and filled with love. It showed a mother proud of her child, grateful to finally be able to share a small part of her life again, without fear of legal consequences. People online noticed how long it had been since Melody last shared her kids publicly. She had gone years without doing it, focusing instead on her businesses, her speaking engagements, and her self-care. Even during her live videos, when one of the kids would appear, she would quickly have them step away because she respected the court order. That's the kind of discipline and class that people admire about Melody. She doesn't let emotions control her decisions. She moves with grace, even when others try to drag her into unnecessary drama. So when this new photo surfaced showing Martell's side of things, Many couldn't help but compare the two parents. Melody's actions spoke of healing and maturity, while Martell's looked like a public performance. Some viewers even said that Martell only made that post to trigger Melody, to get her upset, or to make it look like she wasn't the only one spending time with the kids. The problem is, his efforts keep backfiring. Instead of painting him as a devoted father, it often reminds people of how manipulative he can be when it comes to controlling the narrative. Those who watched closely said that in the video where Sugar Mama hugged the little boy, it didn't even look like something that came from her own emotion. It looked as if Martell told her what to do. And the saddest part about that is that it takes away from the authenticity of what could have been a genuine sibling moment. No one is against siblings loving each other. What people are against is using that love for attention. When moments between children become props for adult pride or public sympathy, that's when it crosses the line. And to make matters worse, the woman connected to Martell's out-of-wedlock child was also being discussed. People remembered how she had behaved online in the past, arguing, posting disrespectful comments, and defending herself in ways that seemed immature. There were receipts of her using harsh language and even attacking people online who questioned her. It made people remember that this whole situation didn't just start yesterday. There has been tension for years. The disrespect, the arguments, and the back and forth all painted a picture of a toxic circle that refuses to end. Even with all the noise, Melody has chosen to stay focused. She has kept her peace, even while others try to pull her into the mess. After her court victory, she appeared on live, relaxed and calm, speaking about her health journey, her fitness goals, and her new focus on self-care. She didn't address the drama directly. She didn't throw shade. She just spoke about her life and how grateful she was for the people who supported her, prayed for her, and sent her love through the storm. That's what separates Melody from so many others. She doesn't need to fight online to prove her strength. Her silence and peace are proof enough. During her live, Melody talked about how mentally draining battles like these can be. Even when she seems strong, she admitted that fighting constantly, emotionally, legally, and spiritually can take a toll. It affects your energy, your mood, and even your body. She said she had been drinking more water, eating healthier, resting more, and recentering herself. You could feel the peace in her voice. A calm that comes from finally being able to let go of constant stress. It was clear that she's no longer interested in fighting old battles. She's focused on her new normal, her business, and her children's happiness. When she thanked everyone who prayed for her and stood by her, it felt genuine. Melody's supporters have seen her walk through fire and still come out with grace. They've seen her handle public humiliation, custody fights, and endless rumors. Yet she never lost her dignity. Her journey is a reminder that when you stay grounded in truth, you don't have to defend yourself to everyone. The results speak for you. The contrast between Melody's quiet strength and Martell's public behavior couldn't be more clear. Martell seems obsessed with controlling how people see him, always chasing an image, while Melody's focus has shifted entirely to peace and purpose. She's not chasing validation anymore. She's not looking for approval. She's simply living her truth. And that's what makes this moment, the first picture of her daughter in so long, so powerful. It's not just a photo, it's a symbol of freedom. For years, Melody's fans have watched her hold back, protect her children, and keep her composure even when the other side tried to provoke her. So to see her finally allowed to share her children again without fear of legal repercussions feels like a win for every mother who has ever been silenced by a system or by someone trying to control her narrative. It's a reminder that patience pays off, that grace wins in the end, and that no matter how messy the situation gets, truth will always rise to the surface. Martell, on the other hand, continues to make choices that raise eyebrows. From public appearances to interviews to questionable posts that seem aimed at stirring reactions, it's clear that he still hasn't accepted that the marriage is over and that Melody has moved on. His attempts to control the narrative have only pushed people further away from his side. The sympathy he might have once had has faded, replaced by frustration from those who are tired of his repeated patterns. When people online mention that Martell is using his children for attention, they aren't just guessing. They're observing years of behavior where he turns private family moments into public spectacles. And what's worse, it often happens when Melody is making progress or receiving positive attention. It's almost as if he cannot stand to see her shine without trying to create his own headlines. But what he doesn't understand is that genuine peace and happiness can't be faked. People can tell the difference between a photo op and a moment of real love. As for the court ruling, it was clear in the documents that neither parent was allowed to profit off the children or include them in any kind of paid production. That means that while Melody can now post photos freely as a proud mother, she still respects the boundaries of the order. The difference between her and Martell is that she doesn't use those moments for gain. Her intention is love, not attention. And that's what people see. Martell's pattern of behavior, constantly posting, seeking validation, and trying to prove something, shows that he's still battling his ego. Instead of focusing on building a genuine bond with his children away from the cameras, he seems to prefer making it a public show. But that's not how healing works. You can't heal or rebuild through performance. You have to do the real work privately. Melody's supporters were also quick to point out that this recent post from Martell came not long after he tried to create the illusion of being in a stable relationship again. But people are not buying it. The same rumors, the same failed business attempts, and the same old cycles keep repeating. The talk about him being broke, the lack of growth, and the absence of real accountability all continue to haunt him. The public is tired of seeing the same behavior and the same excuses. Melody, however, continues to grow. Her energy has changed. She speaks with more peace and confidence. She smiles more. Even when she was live talking about her weight loss journey, there was a lightness in her spirit that fans hadn't seen in a long time. That's what freedom looks like, when you no longer allow the past to dictate your present. She mentioned how she's been eating healthier, avoiding sodas, and focusing on wellness. But the deeper message was about emotional detox. She's cleansing her life of everything toxic, from people to situations. It's no surprise that her supporters felt emotional seeing her back online after 3 weeks. They could tell she had been resting and recharging. She didn't come back bitter or angry. She came back glowing. And when she thanked everyone who prayed for her, it was a full circle moment. The same people who stood by her when she couldn't post her kids were now watching her celebrate a small but meaningful victory. This chapter in Melody's story isn't just about legal wins or social media posts. It's about a woman reclaiming her voice, her peace, and her power. After everything she's been through, the betrayal, the lies, the humiliation, she's still standing strong, proving that resilience is louder than revenge. She doesn't have to drag anyone down or expose anyone to make her point. Her peace is her statement. And that's what makes this entire situation so powerful. While Martell continues to chase validation, Melody continues to evolve. While he stages moments for social media, she lives her truth quietly. While he tries to provoke, she stays calm. The difference is clear, and it's why so many people admire her. She's showing that even when others try to use your children or your pain for attention, you can still rise above it all with dignity. Every picture tells a story. For Martell, his recent photo might have been an attempt to rewrite history. But for Melody, her photo of her daughter was a symbol of freedom and faith. She has learned that you don't have to prove yourself to anyone. When your heart is pure and your intentions are right, everything else falls into place. Now, as Melody steps into this new chapter, it's clear that she's no longer living in reaction to Martell's chaos. She's living for herself and her children. She's showing them what strength looks like, what peace feels like, and what it means to keep moving forward even when others try to pull you back. And as for Martell, the message is simple. It's time to stop performing and start parenting. No more photo ops. No more attention-seeking posts. The children deserve authenticity, not image games. Maybe one day he'll realize that love isn't about how it looks online. It's about how it feels when the cameras are off. Until then, Melody will continue to shine. Her journey is proof that no matter how dark things get, light always wins in the end. Her quiet victory is more than just a post. It's a lesson in grace, strength, and self-respect.